There's an American senator that I want to introduce you guys to, Senator Menendez, who's very clear about the threat that comes from China. Now, Albo can bang on that now he's suddenly discovered China as an issue. You and I both know that that's not the form of this year, last year, or the past 20-something years. But an American senator bells the cat about what China really is.
In the Solomon Islands, because I think it is both in the Solomon Islands' interest, Australia's interest, the United States, to ensure that there is not a Chinese base there.
The same when it comes to Belt and Road?
Certainly, the most significant interest is to ensure the military base doesn't take place. That is a security strategic challenge for all of us. But it is my hope that there's a more broader, deeper understanding that, China at the end of the day will be your owner and minder. That's what their ultimate goal is, and that they've shown that in Africa and other parts of the world, where it seems like they're coming in with good intentions, and then their coercive economic policies, their coercive practices ultimately put you at being owned by China. I don't think anyone wants to be owned by China.
Correct. Senator Lindsey Graham also has plenty to say about this. Senator Menendez is a Democrat, of course. Lindsey Graham ran for president as a Republican.
And Communist China is using every lever it can to browbeat Australia. You decided to stand up to the Chinese Huawei system, which is basically if you bought it, China would know everything about you, is our theory of the case. And you've paid a heavy price for standing up to China. And what I want to do is make sure that after this visit, you understand that we appreciate what you've done and we're more with you than ever. But Bob can explain, I think, as well as anybody in the United States Senate, the choice that people in the region and the world are going to make between China and the rest of us.
Bronwyn, you've been saying this for a long time. What about Albo today saying, oh, no, China's as serious as climate change? Does he honestly think, as Ray Hadley correctly says, we're that stupid?
I think he does. And more so, look, when he went on that diet and lost all that weight, I think a lot of it went out of the brain. Seriously, I keep telling you, I've sat in that parliament from 1996 to 2016 and watched him. I hear people in the Labor Party saying he's changed, I watch him grow. Rubbish. He's exactly the same person from 1996 to 2016, member of the far socialist left faction of the Labor Party. He hasn't changed his views. He's exactly the same. Leopards do not change their spots. And the Communist Party of China wants him to be Prime Minister because they've seen how weak he is, and he is, in the old term coined by Lenin, a useful idiot. And when their aim is to see us as a vassal state, and they see him as the perfect puppet.
Erin, I mean, again, the attempt to try to pretend when he overtly made a speech. He's written articles that climate is the focus. I know Stephen Conroy talked about how America's focus on climate. The problem is Joe Biden can say whatever he wants. He needs to pass something through the parliament. He has a minor chance of getting something passed in the lower house, but he won't get anything in the upper house, which means there is no climate target laws that are coming to America. So this is just sort of a speech's fantasy. That's the reality of the US, is they're not moving on any of this stuff. China, when it comes to climate, can do whatever it wants to 2030. And as you've talked about plenty of times with Dad, no doubt, their military strength and trying to take over the South Pacific, they are literally building islands and buying off other ones.
Absolutely. And look, it's great to see a couple of US senators actually talking about this, because a lot of criticism after that information came out that there was a potential deal between the Solomon Islands and China. There was a lot of criticism that the US had dropped the ball in this space, and fair enough, there's a fair other bit to be distracted by in the rest of the world. But, you know, you look at the global times, and again, China threatening again. If you use, you know, the tensions will be inflamed if there are ill words spoken of the relationship between Australia and China. You look at the last 3 or 4 articles in the global times, which you all know is the mouthpiece of the communist government there. And it's all, if the Australia-Japan security pact will inflame tensions, the US and Australia visits to the Solomon Islands will inflame tensions. They're bullies. You have to stand up to bullies. And Scott Morrison stands up to bullies. You didn't meet with the new ambassador because he's standing up to bullies. We know whether you're a schoolyard bully or you're a country, weakness is the greatest thing you can do for them. That's what they're looking for, and that it will be
that's-
provided by
that's-
Labor.